Hello, hello, hello. It's Tiana again, and today is Thursday, November 13th, 2025. I am going to be going over the November 12th ES futures chart. So, here is our open at 1800, and then our key entry point, our top key entry point was at 68.79, and then our lower key entry point was at 68.43. Okay, so if you are a after or an evening trader, you could have taken breakout pullback, and I didn't mark this one because I marked the second one. But if you took this one and stayed behind this swing here, you could have got in at about 82, 68, 82, and rode it up for about 6 to 7 points. So and you would have not had to risk that much if you got in there. But this, it made a second entry long right off the key entry point. If you had gone, now that is a hammer up red, but it is like a beautiful second entry long. Or you could have waited for the higher low that came after. It's actually a wifey off the EMA here. So let's say you got in at 68.85 ish, and then you could have rode it up to the top at 6,900, a little bit more, so for about 15 points. And then we're going to come here. This blue line here is the 9:30 open, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And this trade is actually a trade that I got in. I went short. I know I gave it a bigger stop. So, and then I had it set to lock in to take profit. I entered twice. So I entered and took profit at the key entry point. And then I had placed the other target down lower because I was anticipating a breakout, but it did pull back, so it locked in 3 points on one of my entries, and then the other one got I think it was like 6 points from my entry. So we're gonna have to see my exact entry, but I entered somewhere around here. Anyway, what I actually saw though was, looking back in hindsight, we were above the key entry point, but we had broken out and we had made two attempts. We had made kind of two legs higher. We had attempted to go higher, but it didn't. So we had a high. It was making lower highs. So I did decide to go short, and it did work. So this entry here was a high, lower high. If you took that, or if you waited for the one that was developed off the EMA here, because this is kind of rangy right there, but then if you waited for this one, it was kind of like a two-legged pullback if you counted it that way. But anyway, if you could have entered at about 68.83, and then it dropped down to 68.74, so about 9 points, 8 or 9 points there. Then it played around the key entry point, played around. So you could have got chopped up if you were just taking anything off, if you weren't waiting for actual entry. But then it gave you the classic breakout pullback. Actually, it's a break back into the range and then pull back. So this is like one of my top 3 trades. I love this trade. I was done trading. By this time, I actually wasn't back from drop off for the kids, but I was actually done because my trade had already triggered and put me in profit. But this, you got to break out, then you pull back to the EMA green. I'm not the EMA, I'm sorry, the key entry point green, and then you broke lower. So you could have been sitting right here at about 68.76, or you could have entered under the candle a tick below the close. Either way is a great entry. Say you took the more conservative route, you could have got in at about 68.75 and some change. Now you would technically like to put your stop back above the key entry point, so you would have had to give it about 4 points, but if you did, you survived. And then you went from 75 down to 61, so you could have gotten about 14 points or so on that trade. So that It's a great trade. It never, it does come back here, but if you stay back, you survive. Um, and catch that whole run. And it went down further, but this was a huge run back up. I know if I had been in this, I wouldn't have survived this pullback to catch this whole run down. But yeah, that is how I saw the morning. Like I said, I like to be done trading by 10:30, so um, my day would have been over here unless I, came back in the afternoon, which I did not yesterday. Let's see what it did. It played around the key entry point. It got a couple, like if you took this hammer down off of 77, got you down to 68, so about 9 points there. You had some entries off the EMA. This is a second entry short right here. That's pretty. Let's see, how clean is that? That's a pretty clean second entry short. If you go here, 73, you could have wrote it down to about 65, so about 8 points. And we reversed, kind of a double bottom. It chopped around here, went back up and played around. So I had a few entries here. This one, I wouldn't have taken this break back in, pull back, just because the signal candle is so much smaller than the first short candle. I like for them to be about the same size, or for my signal candle to be even better. So I mean, if you took this as the signal candle here, you could have got in there at 76 and rolled it down to 70, so about 6 points there. You don't have anything. I mean, it's possible too, though, that you get chopped up if you were taking this and thinking long. These just don't work, and you lose. So, this trade here, man, I mean, it's a break back in, pull back. It wasn't just clean though. I mean, technically, if you had entered, say, at 75, and then you put your stop back at 81, which is about 6.5 points, you would put it at 81.50. So if you did that, I mean, you catch. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this was the open. This was the 1800 open. So you don't catch that if you're a prop firm trader, because you had to be out of the market here. So yeah, that's why I like to be out by 10:30. All right, so hopefully you guys caught some of these good runs. And hopefully you'll have a great day tomorrow, Friday, Runner Friday coming up. So yeah, hopefully you get some good entries tomorrow as well. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.